Hey everybody, welcome to my first ROM review. This will be of Pete's GPA13. The things we are going to cover is first the boot times, as you can see in the table of contents, then the amount of free system space, then we will look at some benchmarks with the standard kernel at 600 MHz, followed by installing RaidZero's kernel. After that, we are going to go over some of the features of this ROM, which specifically on Pete's ROM is essentially nothing because it's stock. Then we are going to rate some things on the ROM in the conclusion screen, and then we'll be done for this video, and I'll do some others. So right now we're doing a triple wipe just to make sure everything is clean. As you can see, feel free to fast forward through this because it's lame. Alright, format, system, and format system one more time.
Now we're going to install the ROM from the SD card again. Feel free to skip through this. I'm just showing it so no one's like, oh, you didn't wipe well enough. Okay. Don't know why people put these animations in. I feel like it just slows down the install time. Anyways, Pete's GPA13 is Android 2.3.3 based, which has the new level 10 API, which essentially just adds near-field communication stuff, which the Droid one does not have, so it's worthless. But 2.3.2 fixed the SMS glitch where people were accidentally sending messages to the wrong people and Android wouldn't even notify them about it. So that's good, that's updated. That fix is also in 2.2.2 and 2.1.2, although most companies haven't pushed those versions out. Companies being carriers. Alright,
and now we're going to time the first boot. So I don't really have a stopwatch, so here's my watch. We're going to start right when it hits 15 seconds. And there, it activated the ambient light sensor and did its little vibrate like I'm almost there, and done at, looked like 1:32. Now, as we're going to do with all ROMs, we're just going to skip the sign in by tapping the four corners of the Android initialization screen. And we get the stock gingerbread launcher, because a lot of people throw in either ADW or Launcher Pro. This is a stock launcher. And I forgot to install Titanium Backup. Sweet.
What does that mean?
Alright, sorry about that. I had to install Titanium Backup so I could restore set CPU, LinPack, and the quadrant benchmark. Okay. Pete introduced in this ROM his new no lag 600 MHz kernel. And for 600 MHz, it's really smooth. Clearly he did something right with his no lag. Okay, just make sure it's running at 600 MHz always and not doing anything stupid like clocking down. LinPack, we'll probably do like four benchmarks. First we're going to go into airplane mode. Pete's ROM does that fuzz thing that kind of makes it lag whenever you launch the power menu. Not a fan of that. I don't know why it's included. I guess probably just because he didn't remove it like all the other ROMs have. But
okay, first benchmark. This is at 600 MHz, remember, so don't expect it to be too quick. Alright, and I've noticed just on consecutive benchmarks that I've done before, they always seem to get faster. I don't know why. Maybe some of the information is being stored in the cache of the phone, not a clue. But they always seem to get incrementally higher results throughout the first like 5 benchmarks. Alright, these are all looking like 8.5 to high 8s, so this will be the last one. Alright, 8.6.
Now we're just going to run one quadrant because it takes forever.
Afterwards, I'll have to turn off airplane mode, of course, because it needs to send all the data in to display the results. But I will wait until it's done to do that. Not use up any extra CPU. Haven't actually run this on Pete 600 megahertz yet, so throwing it out there, I'm going to guess we get a score of about, I don't know, I want to say 550 to 650. Kind of a big range, just don't want to be wrong. Then again, I could be wrong. Let's see. Turn off airplane mode. Wait for a 3G connection to be established. And there it is.
I'm not sure if you can see the score. Hopefully you can. It is 673. Alright, now we're going to go over the features of this ROM. Essentially, there aren't any additional features. This is supposed to be stock gingerbread. Pete is quoted saying, this is a ROM how Motorola would make it. So you've got the standard programs, nothing additional, standard music player, standard phone. It's just stock gingerbread, which is also why he included such a low megahertz kernel. Although Motorola would probably still do 550. They want to save their battery lives. I'm going to see how much free system space we have. Explorer. Hit allow this time, yay. Alright, only 18 megabytes free. I know Liquid Gingerbread has like 48 megabytes free. Not exactly sure what the differences are there, but it doesn't really matter how much system you have, unless you're needing to add other programs. You want them to have root permissions or whatever you want to do with that. Alright, now we're going to boot into recovery mode and test the same benchmarks we just did, but with RaidZero's 800 megahertz kernel. And I'm going to do that kernel with every ROM I review, so you can see the difference in just the ROMs, not the kernels. Well, it's fun. Alright, let's unlock. We're going to give it like a minute, maybe 2 minutes just to sit there, because everyone knows phones aren't exactly that quick when they just turn on. Alright, up to 800 megahertz. Alright, it's been like a minute or two. Enough to have the screen go off, yay. I went ahead and went to airplane mode while I wasn't recording.
And we're running the benchmark at 800 megahertz. Hopefully we'll get more than the 6.5 to 6.9 range. I'm assuming we will. We're running faster. Almost 11.4. Not 6.5, sorry, 8.5. Second run, 11.5. And 11.493 there.
Now we're going to run a single quadrant benchmark.
Last time I think we got 674. Cody, does that sound right? 674? What I said? Do you remember?
Don't remember.
He does not remember. 674, 673, or 647? No, because I wasn't right. I think it was 674. I'm sure you guys can go back to around 3 minutes into this video and check it out and see if I'm wrong. Definitely getting higher frames per second, which of course makes sense. We're running at a faster clock speed. Droids never handle this one well. 7 to 8 frames per second, that's terrible. Even running like 1.3 gigahertz on some kernels, you get like 11 tops on that Moon Mars one. Alright, turn off airplane mode. Come on,
3Gs, we have you. Alright, this was 894. 894. Okay. Well, overall this isn't really a feature-rich ROM, so I would have to give that a 0 out of 10, because it's got everything that standard Android has, but nothing additional. so I can't really say it's full of extra features. As far as benchmarks go, they're looking pretty standard. Nothing was done. 5 out of 10 probably. For smoothness, this is currently the 800 megahertz kernel, but the 600 megahertz kernel is actually really smooth for how slow it was at. And just like scrolling through the menu here, it's pretty quick. I mean, there's no obvious lag anywhere. That's not a big list. There's just looks good. So let's give that an 8 out of 10. Theming and customization, there's really none available. It doesn't use the new T-Mobile theming engine. I haven't tried to use Metamorph with anything. I'm sure some of them would work, but as far as pre-done theming options, there are none. Once again, this is Android 2.3.3, which uses API 10, which is pointless for the Droid because it doesn't have NFC hardware. It uses a standard 600 megahertz kernel, which Pete redid and claims there's no lag, and it's pretty good. And it uses a default vanilla Android theme, which really isn't vanilla anymore. I mean, they definitely went with darker tones. They're using green a lot more in this compared to Froyo or Eclair. Anyways, if you're looking for a fairly stock experience, or you're just new to rooting and don't know what to do with all the extra features of ROMs like CyanogenMod, this is definitely a good one to try out. You're gonna get a little increased performance. You're gonna have root, I guess, as opposed to a completely stock ROM. And you will have Gingerbread, which you cannot get through Verizon, and from what I've heard, they're never going to push it out to the Droid 1. So there you go, this is Pete's GPA13.